everybody doing? Welcome and welcome to my channel. We are here for the social sprint number 3 for the World Wide Writeathon. So hopefully you guys are all in the right place. If it's your first time here, I'm so glad you're come to join us. And we're going to go around clockwise and introduce everybody. We're going to start with Jessica and head on around and we'll end it back up with me. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, co-hosts.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Jessica A. Kassin, and I'm a writer of high and epic fantasy, and I also enjoy including sci-fi, dystopian, and mythology elements into my work. I'm mostly on Instagram, and I officially now work at a library, which I know my friends here also don't know, or maybe they know from some of my stories, but that's kind of what I've been doing. And I have a bunny, and yeah. Wait, there you go.
The cutest bunny ever, by the way.
He's shedding, so not so cute right now.
Oh no. Hello everyone. Super glad to be here with you on this beautiful Saturday. I am Laura, aka LP Savage, aka New Beach Novelist. I have my website, New Beach Novelist, which releases weekly content for the writer and reader alike. I'm fresh off of my first ever published content, which is a anthology series called Forbidden Delights. Super excited about that, but it is a dark fantasy anthology. But I really do write the gamut of all types of fantasy, paranormal, speculative fiction for both young adult and new adult. And I also like Disney, but that is me.
My name is Charliee, and I am an author tuber here on YouTube, and I post videos about writing and journaling, and I am 1/4 of the author tubers React. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kelli. I'm a genre-hopping writer, domestic goddess, which is a fancy way of saying I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife. And today I was captaining the Hot Mess Express. I can't even talk today. That's how busy it's been. But yeah, happy to be here and do the things and talk about the things. So thanks for having me.
Hi everyone, I'm Chandra Arthur. I also am an author tuber. I write science fiction, fantasy, and historical fiction. And sometimes I post videos. So yeah.
Hey. Woo.
I've done mute because he's now on the lawnmower. We've moved from the headsaw thing to the lawnmower. So let me try to be quick. I am the Vixen of Fiction. You are here on my channel. I host Author Tubers React. Charliee is one of my co-hosts, and Kelli and Chandra are regular guest hosts. I love to have them. Let's see what else. There he comes with the lawnmower. I don't know how loud it is, so I apologize if you guys can hear that. It's Dobby time. I love the Dobby size.
I found out, just in case anyone was wondering, I've been saying he's 10 pounds. He's actually now 13 pounds. So this is a full workout for me.
Just do a symbol lift.
Yes.
Circle of life.
Yes. I'm lucky.
Wait, doesn't that work? Chandra, do you also teach yoga or?
I do, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So perfect for yoga, of course.
Yeah. You know, when you do like the V-sit and then the crossover with the weight, I just use my cat instead.
See, Dobby's looking out for you. No, Loki will just get on my lap and take over the camera. Like his face is like here, and he's doing Pride Rock on my lap. So I'm very lucky he's asleep right now.
Yeah. Oh, and just quickly, if I'm looking over this way or like shaking my head, it is not at what y'all are saying. It's just I have an assistant in the room with me.
Oh,
so I'm looking that way. Yeah.
Girl, look at you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I've just been saying hi to everybody in the chats. So we are going to do some topics today, and then we're going to do some sprints. We'll do 2, maybe 3. Laura's going to cut out at 4. We're told we can go a little bit over 4, so we'll see if what you guys want to do once we get to the 4 o'clock Eastern point. And remember, if you need to stop chatting and start writing, the writing sprints will be going on kind of simultaneous, overlapping a little bit. So I will send you that way. The playlists are linked down below. So if you need to get some more writing done and less chatting done, click on the link and hit the other playlist so you can get more writing. But you're more than welcome to stay here and chat with us. We will do sprints. I promise. I promise.
What is everyone working on today, or what have you guys been working on?
I have been doing mostly admin stuff, and I was doing the double duty with we do scripting the book. That's one of the other shows that I host, and so Ben Pick was doing his live watch party. So while we were on the other two streams, I was dotting in watching with them. So I've been quite busy, but I need to get words. So words will happen, if not during this stream, because I have a little bit more admin stuff to do. If words don't happen in this stream, they will be happening the next. So I'm looking forward to really getting started, but I'm getting a lot of admin stuff out of the way.
Nice.
What about you guys?
I think I'll be doing some admin stuff too, because I actually forgot to say this, but I also do Flash Fiction live with Natalie Locke, and so that'll be on my channel next week, so I need to prep for all of that. And then I would like to also work on editing some of my sci-fi project.
That sounds good. Sounds solid.
Yeah, we're using one of your timers, Laura. I just saw all the pretty new flower spring timers. I'm like, whoa, here we go. I picked one.
Ari, I'll let y'all go. Okay. We didn't finish going around what everyone was working on.
Jessica, do
No,
you
go ahead. Whoever's next.
Sure, I can go next. So I work on 4 work in progresses, and I've really tried to condense it to only working on 2. So one is a fantasy about shapeshifters and a barrier that's coming down, and the other one is about a necromancer and who's on the run from like bounty hunters from a kingdom or something ish like that. But I'm weaving more mythology and like Asian culture and stuff into it, so it very well might change a lot from that with like a different type of magic system. So I'm kind of working on those 2 as much as I can, but mostly I haven't worked on them for like 2 weeks too much because I've been working on so many other things. So I'm trying to like get back into it, but yeah. So that's what I'm working on.
Sounds good though.
Grayson, you were doing one of my favorite things. I can get distracted all day drawing maps. Love it. I'm so happy that you get to do that. Maybe I'll get to draw maps sometime soon.
If you want to draw a map for somebody else, just, let me know.
Does Grayson have a Ko-fi? I'm like thinking like Zara. I'm like,
yes.
Grayson, let us know if you've got a Ko-fi. You might get some commissions to make maps too.
We have some interesting parties.
And this is for you, Kelly, before we finish talking about whatever bouncing baby, which we love. We love when your work partners come in and join us. So adorable. She's got the most adorable work buddies. I mean, we love our pets, but Luna, I mean.
Oh, sometimes I love the cat more than I love Luna, depending on what. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, yeah, like sometimes Nymph will just lay there and she'll just chill, and Luna's just into everything, and I'm like, why?
Yes, Luna, our bonus co-host for sure. We have a bunch of them, but
I think that's better than what I call them. I like to refer to them as my crotch creatures. The bonus co-host is better. I'll start using that.
Hey, all crotch are welcome.
I think that's perfect.
But yes, I will be working on something I don't recommend to most writers, which is taking a book that you have written. It's 140 words. It's been gone through, I think, 4 drafts now. And I decided around draft 5 that this book is going to have a very significant change to the secondary main character that will basically lead to an entire rewrite. So I am about 13,000 words into this rewrite and loving it and hating it simultaneously.
Wow, that is wild.
Oh, wow.
It makes the entire book so much stronger, and I can see it, and it like changes so many dynamics for like the better. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited by it, but I'm like, crap, why did I do this to myself?
You know what? It will make a really excellent story to tell once you finish the rewrite.
Yep.
And then I'll have like a really great, like, if it ever gets published and popular, I can be like, and here is like the alternate universe version that was completely different.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Like comparison, like, oh, these chapters that were really different, and that's what, you'd think it was going to be, but like, I think that'd be really cool.
Yes, and it definitely, like, I completely shifted a backstory for, like, the main character. He's the main love interest. Like, he is very integrated, and so this, like, shift really, really does change a lot. So I'm very excited about it, but also, yes, asking myself at night, like, why did I do this to myself? Like, ain't nobody got time for this.
And really quick, Sam I think that this is Samantha. Hey, today revising 2 short stories about individuals with questionable morals, one with good intentions and the other not so much. I love that.
I love it.
Yes, I feel that. I may be writing, I'm debating between what I should be writing and what I shouldn't be writing. But I'll probably end up going with what I should be writing, which is an essay. So, yeah. That's what I'll be working on, unless for some reason I change my mind.
You have more willpower than I am. I always write what I shouldn't write.
Same.
That's great. So it sounds like everyone has good projects to work on today. Okay.
Yep. Oh, but just he hung. Great. Sorry. Michael is so much fun. If you have not been to one of his riddle streams, you've got to check him out on Friday afternoons.
I feel like I would be like, so I feel like I'd show up and just be like, oh man, I am as stupid as I thought.
I think you'd find that still fun though, because like the community there is like so amazing, accepting. We're all just like trying to guess things, and sometimes like way over all of our heads, and sometimes it's not. So like, it's a lot of fun though.
My partner this morning was like, I got something for you, and I was like, okay, I'm drinking my morning coffee. I was up at like 3:30 to 5 with her, and then she woke up another time at like midnight, and it was just crazy. We were up a lot, so I'm like sitting there sipping on my coffee, and Logan's like, so is an artist that paints considered, oh, what is happening here? Considered a writer? And I was like, what? And he was like, is an artist, if they paint something, are they considered a writer? And I was like, I mean, I guess you can consider a writer an artist because it's just, and he was like, no, Kelly, it's because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Yeah. And it went right over my head. And I was like, you know what? I don't even have my cup of coffee in, and I'm sleep deprived, so this isn't even fair.
Yep. My very first World Wide Writeathon, I had artwork that I needed to get done, and I wanted to get my 50,000. And someone told me that. They're like, well, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm like, yes, but I wasn't a rebel. I should have done it.
It's like my story immediately became a picture book, and already I always think that whenever I tweet a photo, though, because like with Twitter caption limits, you're like, this number of characters or 1,000 words I just posted. Loopholes.
Yeah,
true.
Everybody is joking with me. Okay, so last World Wide Writeathon, we got super chatty, and I had my sprints planned out, and I ran 5 minutes over before when I needed the first one, which means I'd be cutting it close at the end. And I was like, oh crap! And there, I think it was Jess was in the chat like, excuse you. I'm like, on it. let me get that sprint on real quick. So that might be why they gave me a social sprint this time. Not saying that that's why, but it might be why.
Might have something to do with it.
But my plan is we're going to not get into the topics first. We're going to do our first sprint. Then we'll get into the topics. That way I only have one more sprint to do. I mean, I can handle that, right?
Fun.
Strategic planning. I love it.
And Chandra's been on so many streams with me. She's like, we'll see.
Okay.
All right. Let me pull up the timer, which I think I have it ready. Again, if you weren't here earlier, our timer is by the fabulous Laura Nettles. She's got a bunch of springtime timers now.
Ooh.
Make more timers, Laura. I'm a bad influence.
Also, hi, other Laura. I just wanted to give you a shout out. I love when other Lauras are around.
Oh.
All right, so let's get a 25-minute sprint in, and I will pull up a topic while we're on sprint. And I think we've got 4 topics today, so we should be good to go. And I should get Laura out of here on time, and then we'll probably go just a little bit over, and then I think I've got this planned out well. We will see how it goes. All right. 25 minutes. Let's get some work done, whatever productivity is for you. But if you're trying to get words, get the words. Hey, we did it. First sprint done.
Yay!
Now the pressure, I feel like the pressure's off because I have so much leeway time now.
We got one done.
I only have to do one more. So I'm like, yay. And they gave me extra time. I'm like really thinking about why Jessica gave me this slot. So go ahead. We can go clockwise around, and everybody let us know how you did. And our first topic, if you want to write T1 or topic 1, that way I don't miss it, because I've got a ton of comments I'm going to get through. That way, when we get to the topics, I can see that it's T1 and I don't miss it. But what are your favorite and least favorite unpopular writing opinions? And I have some. I actually have a couple that I've come around a little bit on. So I'm like, okay, I see your point. So if you guys want to let me know in the chat what yours are, and you can also let me know how you did. Jessica, you want to let us know how you did for the sprint?
Yeah, so I got some admin work done for Write on Con. So I don't know if some people know yet or not, but I'm one of the people who is working on that. So you guys should definitely come and join us because we have really great things lined up. But so I just got some admin work done, and then I just started kind of like outlining the next scene. So I just kind of started that, and we'll see how it goes, because I'm not really sure if I like the direction my characters are kind of headed, but sometimes it'll just surprise me and I'll be like, nah, I don't like it, and then it just works out well. So we'll see.
Okay, awesome. I got about, oh my God, 600 on the dot words done this one, and I did a little bit of just trying to rearrange my chapters, because a lot of this rewrite has been breaking some of my existing chapters, adding things, pulling things, and my story is told in a dual point of view between the male and female protagonist. So I'm adding like smaller chapters that switches between their point of view a little bit more. So it's been interesting, because now what was like chapter 3 is like chapter 7 in my book, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna change the length a little bit.
Yeah. Really quick, this is why Devin Cutting is the GOAT of AuthorTube. He finds everything. Grayson didn't even remember he had a copy, and there Devin is. It's like, there it is.
The Devin verse.
Grayson's copy's gonna blow up overnight.
True. What did I do? I didn't write my essay, but I did start studying for my midterm. So
that's important too.
That is
Yeah,
important.
that's important.
I am eating for the first time today. So I got a snack and I got some water. The reason normally I eat fine. It's just been busy today. And I'm like, oh, I need to eat food. That's probably why I'm not feeling good. So no writing. However, a little win is Lucy is starting to stand up by herself without any help. So
aww.
Yay!
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
I got really into that sprint. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I was just over here in my own world, like, wait, there are people here. This is a group work session. But I went through my planner and I just did my monthly overview, which is, just a little late or whatever. It's fine. So I was doing my review of February, and then just kind of catching up to see where things are. And then I started working on some of my admin stuff, getting prepped for Flash Fiction Live next Saturday. So, really well. Very productive.
All right, so Michael, I'm going to have to make sure I'm there for this one. Like, they make your brain hurt in the best way. And then when you start thinking like Michael and you actually start getting them.
Yes.
So, Social Stream 11, be there, guys.
It sounds like whenever me and my friend were leaving the tattoo and piercing shop, because I got fresh piercings, and I was like, it's a good hurt. It's a good kind of hurt, and it has a good payoff. And then I get home and Lucy's like, you know what, Mom, let me just bop your nose, because I got the other side of my nose done.
So I've been kind of hankering for a new piercing, and this is not helping.
Well, then I got my ears redone because whenever I was younger, my mom took me to Claire's and got like the gun thing, which is like, you're not supposed to make this bad. And then I got like a lot of buildup and nasty in there. So I just let them grow over. Although whenever I was in high school, I would not hesitate to shove an earring through. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I went through the exact same thing with just one ear, and it was done at Claire's, and I'm looking for a place to redo my one ear with a needle.
So
Yeah,
I did both of mine at 22 at Claire's, and they've been fine. But I did my industrial at a tattoo parlor and actually had it. And for cartilage, I would never, like with a gun, I would never. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's really not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
What are you wanting to get? I'm curious.
That's the problem. I don't know. I just want something.
Girl, we could go over my Pinterest board and we could just go back and forth with ideas.
Yes.
I also want to get more. And I was like, I wanted to get my Medusa done. And my friend who I was going with, she was like, don't you have a stream right after? And I was like, it'll be fine. But now I'm like smiling and my nose hurts. And I'm like, it's a good thing I didn't get my Medusa.
Yeah. I'm gonna get with you. We're gonna have a talk about this.
Chandra, what do you already have done? I want the baseline.
Yeah, so I just have lobes and industrial. I'd always wanted it, but I was always nervous because everyone's like it's super, super painful. Not if you're a little, but I'm not saying that's the way to do it. I'm just saying that's the way I did it. I needed the liquid courage. But it really hasn't been that bad. It does take every bit of a year to heal, or it did for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
I've
what
had
it focus was.
Yeah. I've had it for, I want to say 5 years. 4 or 5 years now, I feel. I've had it for a while. And it's been, I've loved it. I've never regretted it one second. It's my fave.
I thought about getting it, but I got little itty bitty ears, and I was like, I don't know if that would look right because my ears are so tiny.
My ears are really small too. Actually, all the really cool bars where it's like got some design on it. I can't wear any of those because my ears are too small. So I just look at them longingly with little heart-shaped eyes.
My girls just got the little tiny ones because we also have very, very small ears.
Yeah.
Like unreal how small they are. They're like really small.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is there even room?
Yeah. I only have the two lobes, and I have like no other piercings and no tattoos or anything, but I am the like biggest champion if one of my friends is like considering. I'm like, yes, let's look at the Pinterest board. Like I'll like start looking at tattoo parlors, like let's go. I'm like I always get so excited for someone else to do it, but when it comes to me, I'm like, I think it's good.
Yep, that's me. I've just got the two lobes, and like if you want help designing a tattoo, I'm there for you. If you want help where the best place to position one for certain clothing, I will help you there too. But I'm not getting one. I'm good.
So Nia, I'm gonna have to talk to you too because I have like 5 tattoos that I want that I only have placement for one of them that I'm like, this is where I want it, and that's why I don't have any tattoos yet.
Yeah, I just designed one for my daughter. She wants 2 things, but only one tattoo, and she wants it kind of small. So we are between putting it on her ankle and putting it strategically over her shoulder. Because usually, if she likes a formal dress, she'll do a formal dress that's one shoulder. That's just the style that she likes. That could change, but so we're thinking about it. I'm like, you might change your mind on the style of dresses that you like because you are very young. So I'm like, I'll help you out. It's just better to be that way than to just be like, no, and then they go get something stuck on their neck and you're like,
I'm gonna go get a chest piece.
I will say though, if you're looking at like larger tattoos and you're like, will I be able to cover this? Bailey Sarian goes over like what makeup you can use, and like she has a ton of tattoos, so she's like, this one works, this one didn't work, this is how it works, this is why I like it. So I'm like, even though I don't have any, I'm like, tell me all the things I want to know.
Especially when you live in hot, humid places, as we do, you don't want that makeup melting off your tattoo all over your formal, whatever you're wearing, and just have a mess.
Also, watching tattoo cover-up videos is a guilty pleasure of mine. Like, I'm just
Oh yeah.
fascinated by watching people take foundation and be like, oh my god, it's gone. What do they do?
Amazing.
I have an appointment on April 1st, and we're going to go, me and my childhood best friend, we're going to go get our matching tattoos, which I'm super excited about. I'll show you guys. It's so
Why do I feel like this was a prelude for an April Fool's Day prank?
Well, it was like, because I'm pagan, so I'm like sitting here, I'm like, how can I, because April Fool's Day, it's not like specifically set as Loki's day, but I'm like, I feel like Loki would love that energy. What can we do on Loki's day? And it's like, let's go get tattoos. Although they were technically supposed to be for her birthday back in October, but then we rescheduled them. Why am I looking over there? I'm all
I love that celebration of Loki's Day on April Fool's Day, and I will be taking that to heart, though, Kelly.
Yeah, I will be
It'll be
keeping an
great.
extra close eye on my Loki on that day.
Yeah. Here's what we're getting. We're getting them on our hip thigh area.
Oh, that's pretty. I love
That is
that.
pretty. I love the colors.
Thank you. I like it's like neo-traditional, I think is the style.
It's really pretty. I like it.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I really
Laura
want
is a-
tattoos. And that's been like my goal at some point to like get a medium-sized one. But I just have to wait and find like an artist I really like that's actually like accessible.
That's
That
the
was
thing.
Yeah, that was my thing. I actually had an appointment scheduled in my area because they have a convention, and so it's very like book themed, and like it was right up my alley. So I had booked with this lady, but she was coming from Germany for the convention, and then the pan pizza happened, and she was like, "Sorry, I can't come," and I was like, "Okay."
I never heard of
First,
it as the pan pizza, but I like that better.
I like pan pizza.
Pan pizza, yes. Okay.
Congrats to the bingo players. Like going into avatar mode did it for you.
Oh, bingo. What?
No, sir.
I'm confused.
I haven't even like paid attention to the bingo card, honestly. So I have no idea what like already has been check marked off of the card or not.
Yeah, my bingo doesn't start till after this because I've just been so busy all morning. I feel like after my stream is done, I can relax and get to writing and just sit back and enjoy everybody's stream. So one of the good things about going early, guys, it's very random. We're told that it's random though, but I do like going early. Last time I was like first, and I was like, look at this. I can just enjoy the whole rest of the run.
I love that.
This boyo here is being an absolute menace.
And I'm just laughing as I'm seeing him as he's like climbing on you, and he's like, "No, I want attention, Mom."
Off
It's
camera, he
funny,
was
so-
trying to pull things off the desk too. He's
Oh, okay.
Logan, I told your 1,000 words joke, and everyone else got it a lot quicker than me. Yeah.
So funny.
Person finished the map and got 328 words. That's awesome. Feel like I might be hitting a wall. Oh no! An order
Lunch-
some
lunch
and
can
hope
be
it- yes,
super
lunch
helpful.
sounds good. I'm doing lunch after my stream, so I guess that'll be my first sprint when I go on somebody else's eating.
Oh yeah, Mia, did you say what you accomplished during the last sprint?
Admin stuff, and I got a whole drink. Where is my drink? I'm like, if I got a whole drink and then put it down somewhere.
I had a drink, I lost a drink.
No, here it is. Yes. So clearly I haven't been drinking it, but it's full.
Is it water or?
It's crushed ice with water in it. So I can drink it or I can eat it if I feel like I want to munch a little.
Is it like the Sonic ice?
It's better because I have a snow ice maker. So it's like floofy.
So wait, did you just make a water flavored snow cone?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay, but why am I
love that.
really so jealous right now?
Everybody's like, Nia, what do you do? I get out. I'm like, I drink so much water. It's ridiculous.
That's why I'm drinking more water is because of you, Nia. I'm like, I should probably also drink water. I
Yeah.
sometimes put caffeine in it, but it's still technically water.
I'm getting to where I want to put caffeine in it, so I feel you on that.
I had a little bit of water today, but mostly it's been hot bean water. So
Hot bean water and hot leaf water.
I did have some of that too.
So excited, guys. So tomorrow is Ostara, right? First day of spring. And your girl is, I know you're supposed to be talking about writing stuff, but I am pumped because I'm starting the garden and I got chamomile. So I'm going to have my own chamomile for my own chamomile tea. And I got a few other things like lemon balm and, like, you know, I'm excited.
Chamomile lavender, not lavender, chamomile vanilla tea is top tier.
I got like honey. I'm sorry. Logan's in the kitchen and one of our friends came over and they were both doing something and I was just like, why?
Greatest of all time, Devin. Yes.
That's what that means.
Although on the topic of tea and writing opinions, going to transition both ways, I feel like that's always like my number one thing of like writerly things that I want to embrace, but I just can't, is I cannot get myself to like tea, but I want to so bad.
I thought you were going to say coffee. No.
Oh no, I can do coffee. Coffee is great. Coffee is what keeps me like alive. But tea, I just like, I drink it and I'm like,
What type of tea?
Like tea or like herbal tea?
I've tried green, I've tried herbal, I've tried from a Lipton bag.
Oh no,
sweet tea, iced tea, any tea. But like anytime I just get like that like tea flavor, it don't work with me. And I'm like,
you need to try an iced chai latte.
I've tried chai and
What? No. Okay.
So my recommendation would be Celestial Seasonings has a bunch of berry, like fruity teas.
Have you tried a raspberry? I love the raspberry.
They have like a lemon one too.
I might be good with the lemon because I think the only time that I kind of liked something was when it was like a very light green tea mixed with like a lot of lemonade.
And when I say tea though, these don't have any, they're like, there's no caffeine, so they're purely herbal blends. And they don't have that tea flavor. And that one iced, especially during the summer, it's so good.
See, like I want to love it. It just sounds so good, and then I drink it and I'm like, not for me.
Have you tried, if you don't mind necessarily like the chai-y taste, not the tea necessarily, like I know it's kind of hard to differentiate, I guess, but like you can do a dirty chai, and that's like my favorite thing because it's like chai with espresso, so it makes it kind of coffee-y, espresso-y, but like you still, and then like that can be your gateway into like chai and then teas. I wonder.
That's a good call.
I don't know.
I also, this one time, there's a donut place in Orlando that they make a lemon cold brew, like a lemonade cold brew. And it was the weirdest experience of my life, but it was something, I felt like this was like a weird gateway into something. I wasn't sure what it was a gateway for. Maybe lemon cold brews, who knows? But it was a very odd, but very satisfying and like refreshing drink. So they do like a lemonade pressed cold brew and it was fantastic.
As a tea drinker, please don't, like, nobody come for me for this one, but in the wintertime, if you go to Starbucks, they have a mint tea that you can get brewed in lemonade.
That sounds interesting.
And I don't know why it is so good.
Mint. I feel like mint paired with lemon would be good.
It's very interesting, but I was not expecting to like it, but I wasn't feeling good at work one day. And my work bestie was like, I got you. And she like comes to my desk with this and she was like, it's very hot. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, wait, what is this sorcery?
You know what it reminds me of? It makes me think of my aunt. Whenever, because she had cancer, so she'd go through chemotherapy and stuff. So then she would get sick easier. So she would drink Theraflu a lot. And that's what it made me think of. She would drink like the lemon Theraflus.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely drank like hot water with just like a giant squeeze of lemon and honey and mixed up. I'm like, I'm basically drinking tea without like
without
main ingredient here.
I would call that tea.
I would call it tea too.
It was just
Yeah.
hot water with lemon and honey. It was delicious.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But
The-
I'm loving all of the recommendations that everyone's like
Also-
commenting through. So I feel like I need to like go on a tea journey and just like document this
Yes.
expedition and be like, I liked this one, I did not like this one.
You need to take all the tea. What are they called? They're like the end of the tea bag. There's like a little piece of paper on them.
Oh yeah.
You need to take that piece of paper and collect them.
Yes.
It's like everything that you've tried, and you can put like stars or stickers for the level of like or dislike.
Yeah.
Imagine
The
like
book
a
would be-
Girl Scout vest of like the tea stickers.
Yes, that would be so cool.
This
Another-
may also be a little more specific, but I would play with how long you brew or steep your tea for
Yes.
to see if you like it stronger or weaker too. Because if you try something and it's overpowering, then that would be a really big reason why you're like, I don't like this.
And certain leaves, I guess, because I didn't know this either, like they get scorched if you leave them in for too long, or if the water's like
Too hot.
too hot, they get like scorched, and then it messes with the flavor, makes it more bitter. Which I like.
A lot of bougie tea drinkers over here.
Well, I was actually going to tell y'all another one is that like get some cinnamon tea and put whenever you brew it, put some vanilla creamer in it, like what you put in coffee and cinnamon tea, and then stir it with a cinnamon stick for extra cinnamony flavor, and it tastes like a hot Cinnabon.
That's
Oh,
Yeah, I can do that.
Interesting.
I was actually going to ask, are we pro or against putting dairy, like creamers, milks within tea? Because I also
Pro.
like that thing
Pro.
that
Yeah.
Pro.
I mean,
100%.
The only thing is you never if it's like a lemon tea or you're serving it with a lemon wedge, then you never serve it
Yeah.
with
I
like,
never do a
milk or
lemon tea
creamer.
with creamer or milk, but
Yeah.
I will do a raspberry with a creamer or a milk, and all of anything else that's a chai or anything like that.
Mhm.
absolutely put creamer
Yeah.
on
I
it.
drink-
Cheese.
And whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
of,
the
the,
only
thi-
rule.
all of the
though.
things that I make that I posted on my Instagram and stuff, none of them are coffees. They're all teas or hot chocolate.
Ooh,
I don't
Cocoa.
drink coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Also,
put a
Barrett's
hot-
comment saying that this entire conversation is so on brand for writers is exactly why I felt I needed to bring it up, because I felt like a fraud of being a writer who doesn't like tea. I'm just like, this feels wrong.
I don't
I
think
want
that's
to. I
a
want
hard
to-
task.
No,
though.
Yeah, you're good. If you like one or the other or both, you're good. It's the writers who don't like tea or coffee. That's where I'm confused. I'm like, how?
What do you
No, it's the act of having a drink and then forgetting about it for 40 minutes. That is
Well,
what
you're-
makes you a drinking writer.
Yep, exactly.
I was gonna say
Go
what do you
back to
drink,
it,
but then it
Nicole.
occurred to me that it's alcohol. The answer is alcohol.
What do I drink?
No, like if you don't drink tea or coffee when you write, and I was like, what do you
Oh.
drink? Oh.
Well, no, there's also juice. You can have
Great
juice
for Get It Sober.
or hot chocolate.
I like putting like my.
I drink smoothies
Ooh,
Yeah.
those are good. Logan will make smoothies
with tapioca.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So we know what Laura's unpopular opinion is. So I don't find it totally unpopular, even though I love tea. But I understand as someone who doesn't like coffee, I don't want people coming for me when I say I don't like coffee, but I really don't like it at all. So I understand it from the other perspective. I feel you.
We balance each other out. It's
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah,
I-
I think if anything, I just really like sugar. So when it comes to all these drinks, if I'm getting them at a restaurant, I get the one that has the most sugar, like the Starbucks Frappuccinos.
Oh,
It has
yeah.
a good sugar level, so it means I can drink it.
You know, when you said that, for some reason, I just thought about you being like a hummingbird. You're like, where's it? You must have the sugar for the energy. Also, to Laura's comment, I completely agree. I do think when you first start writing that it's good to write what you know, just because there are so many other things about writing that you have to figure out. But as a general rule about like what you write, if it like once you're comfortable with the act of writing, like it doesn't matter. Like that's the
then
whole
explore
creativity
some new
piece.
things. Yeah, have some fun.
You know what else I hate is that whenever people are like, "Oh, you got to write every day to be a real writer," and it's like, no, life happens. I haven't touched a manuscript for about a month now, and it's been lovely.
Yeah, my writing this whole month has been a nightmare. And
Since I started back school, I've written a lot, just not the things that I want to write.
Right. So yeah.
Also, to go on Laura's comment, I think it was on a podcast that I was listening to about write what you know, but it was like, no, don't write what you know, write what you want to know, because that just like exactly like she said, sparks your creativity, and then you just like fall down those rabbit holes of research. And
I love a good research rabbit hole.
Yes. I always signing up for research rabbit holes. Like even if I'm writing about a place that I know or a place that I completely made up, like there will be some sort of rabbit hole that is involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're almost more fun sometimes when you're making stuff up, because you're just like diving down all kinds of rabbit holes trying to find the thing that, oh yeah, it's like this, but it's not because it's fantasy. But let me look at this. Oh, and this one's even closer. So now let me go look down this rabbit hole. Awesome. And then it's been like 3 days and you're like, I haven't written anything yet, but
for historical fiction specifically, I don't like to research at all before I write. I'll do a little bit of like world building, which is researching specifically just the setting. But other than that, I write what I think I know, and then when I go back and like read over it and start on the revision process, that's when I do the actual research to make sure that I'm not info dumping.
Yes, exactly.
For me, it depends on what it is. If I'm pretty sure I'm going to be good to go, but if I need one of my things, I need to know what kind of telephone people were using, because it's integral. One of the people is helping invent the telephone. So I need to know, where I'm at with with the type of phone. Are we still using only operators? You know what I mean? Because there's a whole thing around the turn of the century, how quickly the phone evolved. Yeah. And when we could do phone calls across the ocean, that was the whole thing. So I actually kind of needed to at least know what level of phone I was working with at the start, so I could, you know what I mean? So I'll do some, but and that's all world. But I love world building.
But see, I feel like that's also, you're looking for a specific piece of information, not drowning yourself in. Like for me, I didn't know how much I was going to need to include as far as like electricity or water or all those kinds of things, because I didn't have that much nailed down for the story. So I wrote all of that first, and then I narrowed it down by like what kind of conveyance they needed to use to travel, and if they would have running water or not, and if they had electricity or not. And that was actually how I found my time period versus trying to figure all that out in the front end.
I legit almost changed my time period because I found this phone that was super awesome. And I'm like, this phone is gorgeous. I just want this phone in my story. Oh, it's like 15 years too late.
Isn't that the worst?
And you know that if you use that phone, you would get called out
be like,
because that's so crazy.
Someone's like, that's the wrong phone. They didn't have
first
that
of
phone
all,
for another 15 years.
Didn't nobody ask you?
It exists in this book.
It's fiction. That's where you throw in it's fiction. So I fudged with the timelines a little.
Yeah.
I think like also though, like with genre, because normally I'm a fantasy writer. Like I love me some world building, some magical stuff, like creatures, all of it. But then I have a contemporary novel that's based off of like events that happened in real life that I was inspired by. So it's like a contemporary thing, and it's like my first dive into something that isn't fantasy, and it was very weird, but I'm happy I did it. So like I think writers should also go outside their genre.
You know, Diana Gabaldon, that's one of my favorite things that she does, is at the beginning of the book, she's like, I changed this. Don't talk to me about it. I really don't care. I also did this because I wanted to. That's why. And she like has a whole list of like all the things that are different historically speaking. And she's basically like, don't at me. Super don't care. Here's the story.
I wrote it the way I wanted it.
Exactly. And she's like, yes, I know. I'm sure she's been mansplained about like history 11 million times. And she's just like, I don't like read the forward. I don't know
What did she write?
She wrote the Outlander series.
Oh, okay.
And so in one book specifically, it's getting into the beginning of the Revolutionary War, and she moved some things around to get specific generals all in the same place with George Washington. And she was like, yes, I know this didn't happen. I know they weren't at the same place for this battle.
We're also doing time travel, is what I would say.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, there's, even if it's historical fiction, there's alternate timeline, which clearly, since it is time travel, there's alternate timeline. But even outside of that, like, you can bring that in the ways that you want to suit your story. So,
like, please, even Hamilton moved things around.
Right. Like, you don't. This is not history. It's historical fiction. Like, this is not how you should be getting your information.
But I will admit, Chandra, I kind of am almost opposite end of the spectrum of you with my research, because I do both, because I will do like clean up the end, being like, okay, here's something I glossed over, but I should probably make sure all the details are right where I want them to be. But I often use my research as like a good clue in to like help me get like specific like plot points or setting points that I'm like, that helps like clue me in on where the story's going. I have a contemporary set like story that's set in St. Augustine, Florida, which is only like a few hours from where I live. But like, I basically was like researching all of like St. Augustine and like found like different like very specific like setting places and was like, oh, it'd be really cool if like something happened here and here. And then I kind of like constructed my outline while I was doing my research.
So I think we actually do it pretty similar, because I count that as world building rather than research.
Okay.
So like anything that goes to the setting and locations. So I would refer to setting as like maybe Chicago, and then the locations would be like specific places in Chicago that the characters need to go. So I would do general research of Chicago and then narrow it down to like, oh, these are the train stations. This is like, you know, where they would be traveling and stuff like that. And I would count
here's the major highways,
all the context.
Exactly. And then like, and of course I want to know general world events and things like that, because you don't necessarily want to be writing in the middle, be like, oh, this happened and I forgot it's in the middle of the World War. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I had one where I wanted something to happen and I was like, oh man, I started writing this and World War II had already started happening. And I'm like, let me either gonna have to incorporate that or fudge the timeline a little bit if I'm like not trying to send these people to war. Yeah, sometimes things happen, but yeah. I count all of these things towards world building, even some of my character development, because the environment that they live in often will affect how they react to certain things. So if you have someone who has an upbeat personality, but they're living in a dystopian, that's going to affect how, you know, they react, how that expresses itself. Or if they're a prisoner, you know, but they're upbeat and outgoing, it's like they're really going to be limited because of the environment. So I kind of put it all together and, you know, have everything categorized. I do too much, I know, but I have it all categorized out. I have my character sheets, my character images, the whole thing. I'm a mess, but I love it. It's so much fun. Sometimes it's more fun than the writing.
It's really cool that you can do that, though. I don't do character sheets. I used to, but they really just don't. I haven't been able to get them to work for me.
I still fill them in a lot of times as I go. I usually, if I have an idea of what the character, I say basically I need this character. So I start with that. I need this character. Sometimes they have a name. Sometimes they have a temporary name. But if I give them a temporary name, I try to stick to it. That way I can go and change the whole, do the change thing, and it makes it really easy. And then I start, as I'm writing and as I'm building the world, and I'm like, okay, this is going to happen to him. So how are they going to react to it? Might depend on, their past. So I'm like filling in little bits of their past. And then when I start writing, I add things in. It's like they have their own little wiki that as I'm writing, I'll add that in. This happened, this happened, this happened. That way I don't run into any problems where, I say that his grandmother is dead and then he's going to visit his grandmother towards the end of the book because I forgot.
Yeah, I do that too.
I feel like I always come on these live streams with you, and then like you say something that's groundbreaking for me, and I'm sure it's like super obvious to a lot of other people, but I'm like, oh my god. like sorry, I have to go now.
Yeah, I think people think when you outline and world build that everything has to be done, and a lot of times it's you have some stuff done and then you're filling in other things as you go along. So almost like you're building like a dictionary or a wiki for your own story. That way, if you forget something, you can go back. And I literally will just have it labeled and highlighted, that way I know, oh, this is what its character looks like. Or if I throw in because I do fantasy and sci-fi, sometimes they'll have a slang word that, that's really cool for their time that we don't know what it is. I want to remember what that is and what it's in reference to. So I have like just a little dictionary of words that they use in that time period. Even when I'm doing historical fiction, I do that a lot. I'm like, what words would they have used, in the 70s or in the 40s?
Nia, do you use Scrivener?
I'm learning how to use Scrivener. I just got
Scrivener
it.
is perfect for the Bookpedia wiki type thing, and that's what I use as like a bunch of different folders, and like it's really great for organizing all of that and easy to find and search for. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking at all of the things that Scrivener has, but it's a lot. And then this month that I was supposed to be learning to use Scrivener, everything else has happened. I told you guys about wedding shopping and house hunting. All of this is happening simultaneously. And my mind is like, I don't have a lot of space right now for the writing stuff. So it's a little overwhelming. So I haven't gotten a lot of writing done. And so things like learning Scrivener, I like literally opened up Scrivener when I finally got to write. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do this. What am I doing? What am I doing? So
Yeah.
I have it right here. And I'm just like, I still don't know what all of these things are or how to get them. And I'm like, I watched the video back in January. Now I have to watch the video again.
See, the act of even filling out one of those character sheets for me instantly makes me hate the character. See, I tried my best to plan my contemporary turned fantasy, urban, paranormal, whatever it ended up being, story. And I filled out one of those character sheets for each of the characters, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, yes, I personalized it. This matches. I interviewed my characters. Well, 2 chapters later, they changed ethnicities and genders and became totally different people. I don't know. I just didn't like. It just turned me off. So then I had to change everything. But what I will do so that I don't forget my story, like small details in my story, is I'll just highlight them. So when I write out a description of my character, I'll just be like, okay, this is important. I'll just highlight you in yellow.
But don't you want it in one place? You could just copy and paste and put it in.
No, because then I have to change it. It's like this automatic response for me. If it goes into Wikipedia, it's permanent. So then I have no flexibility. So I must change it.
I am guilty of having like my wiki pages for characters that have so much incorrect information that I haven't updated, but like I'm really just being very trusting of my brain of being like, yep, that's not how it works anymore. So I know this is going to bite me one day, but
no, if I change something, I have to write it down. Like I will not remember to do it later.
That's
like I have
one of my editing
note
process.
Or something like this is a change, otherwise it's going to be forgotten. Oh no!
No, see, if I ever need anything, all I have to do is Control F. I know my character has brown eyes, so here are all the times that I've used the word I in my story. And then I'll figure it out.
See, for me, that's theoretical. Theoretically, this character has brown eyes.
No, see, my research is also like that, okay? I cannot do research beforehand for context or anything unless I'm writing about something really unfamiliar, which then I do have to do research. But if it's like the world building research, then I just do that as I go, because otherwise that is like too much work for me. That is me writing the story inside my head.
And I mean, not just shameless self-plug over here, but I do have an article that was not even written by me. It was one of my guest authors on my page that talks about like creating like a story Bible or creating like whatever story documents when you are in that planning process and different approaches to it that I learned when I read it. I was like, well, this is very illuminating. So that is on my site, but I feel like it's always interesting to see like how people keep track of that, especially when it goes into a larger series, because I mean, the book that I'm currently rewriting is book 1 of a planned trilogy, and I already have book 2 written, and my Nano project was book 3. So this change is going to impact more than just this one book that I'm writing. I should really update my wiki pages that I have right now.
I love looking at people's story Bibles, but I could never.
I started on one after Sako had mentioned something about it and did like a little workshop, and I was like, oh, this is gonna help me a lot, because so I have a couple different projects. I have 2 historical fiction standalones drafted, but I also have a trilogy that I've been working on that's a total trash can fire. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of why is because I didn't outline, and I don't have a series Bible for it. And it's just, at this point, it's so daunting that I just kind of look at it and I'm like, later. You just stay there. Don't even worry about it. It's bad.
I think because everything that I write ends up being bigger than just one book. It would feel daunting if I don't like take notes, because if I really will be like, what, how was, did I say he was tall? You know, and then I have to go back and like trying to find what page or where in the manuscript, where did I write that? I know, because I'll be like, I know I mentioned it. So now I've got to scroll all the way back through trying to find where I mentioned it, and then just be like, I can't believe I can't.
Wait, so then when you're moving on to book 2 and your character gets a haircut, does that mean you have to make a whole new Wikipedia page for the second book?
No, I would just on his same thing. If it's important, like if it was an important event, I would just say at such and such a time he got a haircut. But it's on his same character sheet. So I have everything about him or her or them in the same, on their page.
That right there is how I found out that I'm terrible at keeping track of time in my stories.
Oh, I have timelines. Did I tell you? Was it you that I was telling about doing timelines?
No, that's where I started to make timelines. And I mean, it's been really good for my writing. It's been really bad, not bad, but really hard on me. My stories appreciate it.
I tell everyone I love doing these things though. But yeah, it keeps everything in order. I know I'll have a timeline when everybody was born, if their parents are involved, and it's important because I have sci-fi where parents actually, die in the story, like when these things happen. So why people became family when they became family because someone was adopted in. I have it all on my timeline when explosions happen, when a catastrophe happened. It's all on the timeline, so I even know like how old each character was when certain event happened because I have them timelined on their birthday timeline.
So does this mean you know everything in childhood? Because I
can fill it in.
Okay, because I'm one of those people who like, maybe this is an unpopular opinion. I'm like anti-template. Because I know a lot about my characters, but I only know enough about my characters that are relevant to the story. Because I found that when I was filling out, for example, the character worksheets, questions would be like, what's your favorite pizza topping? And what does this say about you? And I'm like, okay, but now I have to talk about pizza in my story, and I don't want to talk about pizza. It doesn't exist in this time period.
No, you don't have to do that. No.
Yeah, so
if you say that something is someone's favorite food, I would just put that in their wiki that they love such and such. So that if it happens to come up again, you'll remember that now their favorite food isn't steak after it was, you know what I mean? That's why I write down. But some things, no, you don't have to come up with something that you absolutely do not need. But the way that my stories work, they're usually generational, particularly my one that's the middle grade comic that goes into then a YA and a new adult. Because I'm writing their childhood, I need to know their childhood. If I wasn't writing their childhood, it could probably be a little bit more flexible. But I'm actually writing that as a book, so I need to know, and then it's there. And then anytime I need to reference something, I've already been referenced. Like, it's just so helpful for me. I've already been referencing back, and they can have flashbacks, and they can remember when this thing happened, and it's not confusing. It's all just laid out for me. But that's me, and I do a lot, and I know it. I'm also a slow writer. It takes me a long time to put something out. So if you want to write quickly, doing all of this is going to be too much for you. So you also have to know you.
For me, I'm gonna have to go back and do a lot of that anyway, just to untangle the giant hairball that is my timeline for my trilogy. And I mean, honestly, that's why I started outlining, because it has been such a disaster. And I drafted the first book in that trilogy a while ago, maybe. I think it was the second thing I ever wrote. So it's been in the works for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
It's going that well.
Wow.
Nia, I feel like our planning styles are very similar, because I just pulled this out. This is basically a character timeline for my antagonist, and right here at the end is where it actually says events of the actual story. So it goes from age 13 of this character to age 35, and also on this page is okay, when this character is this age, this character is this age, and this character is this age, and this is where they are in their lives. And because the story doesn't start until after this, but I go back and I reference things that happen in their backstory, which is changing because I'm changing the character's backstory.
See, I don't know. I like a loose outline. I like bullet points that I have to get to, but I don't know. I play very fast and loose. And then I have to go back, and I did one story you just sucked off all the powdered sugar and spit it back out. That's and I feel I guess what I'm saying is if I did more planning, what you guys are doing, maybe I wouldn't have to go back and make my book that I thought was going to be a standalone. Now it's going to be a trilogy. So that was not fun realizing that, but I'm it's better for the story. I should do it this way.
See, to avoid the timelines thing, I just started my story off in a different timeline. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but to put it in perspective, I rewrote the draft that I have now 3 times prior, and I was like you, Laura, where I pretty much wrote the entire book. It was a nightmare for my critique partners because they got all of it. And they were like, what's happening now? But yeah, so, and every time I rewrote my draft, I just started at a different place because I'm bad at first chapters. First chapters are a nightmare for me. But that kind of helped fix my timeline. Also, maybe I just know my timeline better because I rewrote my story 3 times.
That definitely is the case, because that's where I'm at right now with these drafts, where I'm I am so excited to dive into it because I know the exact direction it needs to go in. And after the multiple drafts is I know what needs to stay and what works within the structure that I didn't uncover until about draft 3 of this book. Because definitely when you're writing the first draft, I don't have a lot of this planning and the timelines in line at all. The one that I just showed actually came after draft 2 that I wrote, because I had to go back and be okay, this is what this character's doing here. What was what were they doing at age 17 and age 22 and those sort of things that make sense for the character. Because in the initial draft, I had like obscure Nimbus ideas of like, this is what's probably going to happen. And like, let me figure out how it goes as I'm writing it. And then, yeah, it's been the work of all the different drafts that have like added to the structure. I just have it in like so many different places that I really need to get better at editing my documents as I go along, as Nia does.
I think it's really important here just to step in and say that there's plenty of people who do completely pants their first draft and stuff, and that is completely okay. I know a lot of us are really big planners, or at least like bullet points and stuff like that. And some people are really good with just going with the characters, and they just like already have studied or know kind of how the basic layout or acts of a story go. And not that you always have to follow the acts, like rules are meant to be broken, but like if you know the basic, then you can build off of that foundation. And I just want to say that for people who are freaking out, like, I don't even outline, is my story not worth it? I want to say that it's still worth it, and it's still completely, valid. It's just you might have to do more work on the back end just to be like, okay, this is how they're all going to tie together.
Yeah, just to make that consistency work. And it's completely legit. And sometimes you'll get that initial draft done faster than someone like me.
Yeah.
Because if you can pants really well, that first draft is going to be done. You'll have more work to do on the end. Like my first draft is a very clean draft, consistency wise. But it took me how long to do it? Where, if I just pants it, I could probably be done with it in a month.
I'm really glad you said that, because I did start out pantsing everything, and I was like, outline? Me? Never. But then after I realized it was a trilogy, that's when it became important. So I feel like, and that's not to say it can't be done for series as well. Personally, I'm not that coordinated. But for a standalone, I feel like pantsing is very doable and does go a lot faster. And then if you need to go back and like tweak things, you don't have to worry about making sure it's consistent through multiple books. This is just how the story changed.
Yeah. We're getting ready to do our second sprint. Laura, do you want to do an outro now, or do you want to do it when we get back from the sprint? It's up to you.
I'll do it now. Let's be safe before we
because we're going to do 25 minutes, so it'll be right 4 o'clock when we.
Perfect.
So go ahead,
perfect.
Laura.
All right. Hello, everyone. Or goodbye, everyone. I am Laura, aka LP Savage, aka the Newbie to Novelist, where I host my website, newbietonovelist.com. Most frequently posting on Instagram is my favorite platform. And I roll out new content usually every week when my schedule allows, but fantasy, author of young adult and new adult novels.
I would like to just piggyback on that, since it'll be right at 4 o'clock. But I'm Chandra Arthur. I write historical fiction, science fiction, and fantasy. I'll be doing Flash Fiction Live on Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you want to join for that, would love to have you. And thanks so much for the sprints and everything. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. And the rest of us will do our outros when we get back. We're going to sprint for 25 minutes. Laura and Chandra, just drop out whenever you need to. It has been a pleasure having you guys. I always love having you whenever you can come. I love it. I'm here for it. All right. So my timer is giving me the spiral of death.
Oh, no.
So which means the kids are up in gaming. And I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not plugged in, which I should have plugged in. But I didn't. All right. Let me see if it's going to give me the whole timer. Let me see the whole thing. It's close enough. I think you can see it. All right, 25 minutes. Let's go. Thank you, guys.
Stop. That's not the kind of.
How did everybody do for that sprint?
I socialized.
I
That's
grabbed a
really
snack.
amazing. Awesome. Yes. Snack is good.
Yes.
Yep.
How about you, Charlie? What'd you do?
I was filling out a spread in my I don't know what it's called, like astrology journal thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I feel like I failed you, Charlie.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll figure it out one day. But
I'll have to. I haven't looked at charts or anything for a while, and you said descendant, and I was like, "She mean ascendant? Like you're rising?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know."
it's okay. It's probably not important then, so I don't need it in my journal.
You say that you don't need it, but then like when I was doing mine on the app thing, and it was like you need to know the time that you were born to get it accurate, and I'm like, I'm not sure what time I was born, but I filled in everything else, and it's like I'm a super Libra, like strong Libra, all over the place. I'm like,
Same.
that tracks.
That's what happened to me too.
Let's see. Oh, you guys are killing it. Awesome. 700 words. That's fantastic. I love it.
Nice.
Jessica, what's your sign?
994.
What is my I'm Aquarius.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
All right,
Oh.
almost finished Act 1. That's awesome. You guys keep going ahead and filling out. You guys can chat as much as you want. We're almost done here.
I was just gonna say sorry to Devin for stapling his thumb because that hurts.
Yeah, I was about to get back to that one.
There was a dude at a middle school I went to, and he like took a stapler and like stapled his forehead and he stapled his arms. Yeah, I don't know, but he'd do it, and I was like, I mean, okay, I'm just gonna sit over here and continue to run highlighter in my hair, but
Yeah.
well, I guess we all have our weird quirks. Yeah, I forget why he was doing it. I don't remember if it was like a dare or if someone just was like told him that he couldn't or wouldn't, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna fucking do it."
I tell my kids because they grew up when all of this like Snapchat and Twitter and all that stuff was happening and all the challenges. I said, before you do any challenge, please text me and ask me. I'm like, my answer is probably going to be no, but at least I can tell you why this is very dangerous. Please don't do it. Like the cinnamon challenge, I'm like, don't do that. It's not safe.
Yeah.
It seems innocent and funny, but it's not. It's very dangerous. Please don't do that. So yeah. But in my family, it's like my husband's the one that will have you jumping off the roof just to see for funsies and let them they'll learn, they'll be all right. And I'm the one who saves everybody's life. So we balance each other out. Like he's the adventurous one, he's going to have them climbing up on the things. And I'm going to be the one that you need safety gear.
I have a friend, the one that came over who actually does stupid stuff like that. And I don't call him adventurous. I call him a dumbass. Listen, he does a lot of stupid things because most of the time liquid courage is involved.
Liquid courage will get you into trouble sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Just call me. I'll let you know.
Yeah, call Mia. She'll let you know.
Don't do that one. Do it with precautions. Or go for it. If it's safe, I'll tell you, go for it. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I just got a text message about a house and I'm like,
look at it quickly. Is it good news or you don't know at all?
I need to go look at it.
Oh, okay.
And
we
tell
got
the kids
got
if they
this.
need to put in, if they need to come and try to see it. So hopefully we'll have time. But usually good ones are gone in 24 hours.
So you better go run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna text her in a minute. She knows I'm on this, so I'm sure she's beeping now so that she doesn't wait until I'm done because I told her give me till 4:30. So I think she's just like, let me get these messages in now so they're ready, waiting for me. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm excited and nervous. I think it's the house that I really, really, really want them to look at because it just came on the market at like midnight last night, and I'm just like,
Oh.
I think this is the house, but they've lost every house.
Fingers
'Cause
crossed.
everybody's bidding
Fingers
so
crossed.
much higher.
Yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully this one will actually work out.
Yeah, I hope so because I'm done. No, I'm not done. I won't be done until they're done. I'll do it as long as they need me to. So
It's okay if you're over it though.
yeah, I'm like it's not as much fun in a seller's market. I've not done this before. I've always been in a buyer's market, and it's super super fun. You know, you get to look at everything, and then they're like offering you stuff to buy their house.
Yeah.
And this is not the case this time. It's like come with more money than what we're asking, or keep rolling. I'm like,
That's what whenever we sold our house and back blah 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 blah. Whenever we sold our house originally, whenever I first got on AuthorTube, before we lived in the RV, it was starting to be a seller's market, and we got a lot more out of it than what we were anticipating. And we were like, wow. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a nice little property, had a nice garage set up, everything was great, but we put a lot of work into it.
same, Ben. I hope I never move again. Because my kids are like, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect time to sell your house. You'd make so much money. I'm like, I'd have to move. No.
You just moved into the lovely used to be bedroom, was it?
I know. I'm like, I'm settling in now. I'm waiting for all the kids to leave. So I'm just taking over rooms. I'm going to have a workout room. I'm turning an entire room into an entire laundry room. Like I just want a massive laundry room with closets. Like it's going to be wall-to-wall closets, ironing boards that come down. I'm moving the washer and dryer in there. Like I want just a big laundry room.
Mia, I need you to get with Logan whenever we get property to design the house, because that sounds.
I will do that. I wanted to be an architect, but I was told not to do that. So that's okay.
It's okay. You just have to do it by yourself on a smaller scale.
I was that kid that used to, well, you can tell I like drawing maps and stuff. I will, like my spaceships, I've drawn out my like floor plans for my spaceships for my stories. Like I do too much.
You know what? You could always make someone a tiny house if you have a backyard.
I did that already.
Wait, really?
Oh man,
Yes.
Girl.
Oh my
that is
god.
impressive.
We called it the man cave, and when COVID hit, my son moved into it.
Oh my gosh, wow.
It was when we moved into this house, it was just a workshop, but it had electric and plumbing in it. So I first turned it into a playhouse for my girls. So we built lofts. If you know how to build decks, you can build lofts. So we built lofts in it. So they had life-size doll houses.
Oh my.
And so that was their childhood. When we took it down, my daughter was crying. She's like, my childhood. I'm like, you don't play with it anymore. You're you know, they weren't using it. And I'm like, we have this whole space. We could do cool stuff with it. So we turned it into a man cave because we don't have basements here. Because we're basically, it's too swampy. You'd have to do sub pumps. It's a mess. So we don't have basements. So we had this shed that still had electrical and plumbing. So we turned it into a tiny house and we called it the man cave. And when COVID hit, my son came back from college, and now I'm trying to get him to go back to college. Like back. He started working and making money. So like COVID has like kind of messed people up. I'm like,
Yeah. Hey, that's so cool though. Maybe that's a sign that you should be an architect. You can start charging people on your Ko-fi page.
Oh yes.
There is so much more that goes into it because you have to design literally where plumbing and electric goes and where your HVAC systems go. But yeah, we flipped our last house. We lived in it for a few years, but we basically flipped it where we were like reading the market. And as soon as the market was good, we're like, we sold. So it was fun. My husband and I like to do that kind of stuff. One of the houses that we went to look at with my daughter is a fixer-upper. And I'm like, if me and my husband were looking, we would get this house. And my daughter was going, she goes, this is like the house from our childhood. And you guys did this and this. I was like, yeah. But her fiance is not crafty. So I'm like, don't do this. If you're not going to do the work, don't do it.
then it's not worth it buying a fixer up if you're not going to do your own work on it.
Yeah,
So-
because it costs too much to pay someone to do it. So if you're not gonna be able to do it yourself, then don't do it. But it's super cute. If I had the money to buy random houses, which I don't, but if I could, I would just buy all kinds of fixer uppers and just fix them. But yeah, the tiny house thing, my daughter was like, we should convert a van or a bus. And I'm like, we could. So we'd make plans, but nobody's got time for that. We'll just watch it on HGTV and on YouTube. We have all the videos. They're fun.
Mia, maybe one day you'll get a very nice book deal and you'll be able to start your own renovation business. That's what Logan wants to do. He wants to restore old houses and not sell them for a crazy amount.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. So if you guys move this way, Kelli.
Yes. Yes, I am all in for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are getting pretty close to time because now I've got to go do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and thank you all for coming. If you're in the chat and if you're new, find somebody, make a friend. You know, most of us are on either YouTube, Instagram, or Twitch. So make a friend. Everybody that was co-hosting with me is linked below. Stig started at 4:00. If you want to get right into some sprints, Stig on their YouTube channel. The playlist is linked below. If anybody has a wrench, if you want to put Stig's channel in the chat so that people can go right to it if they want to do that. And then Laura, if you want more social sprints, if you want to take a break and then do social sprints, Laura will be here at 5:00. And it'll be just like this. She's got a great group of people getting ready to sprint with her. So I'm excited. I will have my YouTube playing as I'm driving. I'll listen to it at kind of like a podcast style as I'm looking around. I'm excited. I really hope they get this. I really like this one. So now I'm going to be disappointed if they don't. See why? I'm too invested.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes. So I will keep you guys posted. I host AuthorTubers React and I host Scripting the Book. Check out my channel. Anybody else? We can go around clockwise and do the whole shebang.
All right. It was great writing and chatting with everyone. I'm Jessica A. Kassin. I write fantasy. I include sci-fi, dystopian elements, and mythology. I really enjoy adding a lot of other things into my writing as well. You can find me mostly on Instagram. I do a lot of different pictures, a lot with my bunny in it, lots of food and bubble tea. And I'm also decently on Twitter lately. And I'm trying to see when I can finally get back onto Twitch. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, that's pretty much a lot of the stuff that I end up covering. So yeah. And Charliee, yes, Charliee.
Okay, my name is Charliee, and I am an author-tuber here on YouTube, where I post videos about writing and journaling. But you can also find pictures of finished things on my Instagram page, because I feel like I'm more on brand on my Instagram page. But you know, it is what it is.
Your projects are beautiful too. So
they are so pretty. I'm Kelli. I am not really on my AuthorTube channel that much anymore because mom life. I'm a genre hopping writer, domestic goddess, because, you know, stay at home mom and wife. I also am the co-creator of the Write-ish podcast, who normally whenever I do these things with Zara, we're like on it, but she wasn't here, so I wasn't on it. But where we talk about all things writing and then the ish that also comes with life. So yeah, I think.
Oh, is that why it's called Writer-ish? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because when we were looking at names, I sent Zara like a full list of names, and she's like looking through them, and she's like, too long. I don't like this. This one's good. And then we came across Write-ish, and she was like, this. And I'm like, okay, great. That was one of my top 3 too.
Okay. Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
I love that. Cool. Fun fact.
Yeah, if you can wait to buy, I would wait. This isn't the market. They're buying because they need to. Yeah, but it is what it is. So Sam, or wait if you can, and anybody else who's out there house hunting, good luck. May the odds be ever in your
I was
favor.
gonna
is what I feel like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have fun, and I will hop back in as soon as I can. You guys will see me in the chats somewhere. We've got Laura Stream right there. Oh, thank you, Barrett. There's the podcast for the Writers Podcast. See, this is why I give people wrenches. It's awesome. And you guys were great. I'm already enjoying the World Wide Writeathon. I hope everybody is. I hope you're meeting new people and having a good time, and I hope you're getting work done or whatever it is that you need to get done. And I will see you guys probably in a couple of hours. I will be back on with whoever is there whenever I am finished. We're going to close it out, and I'm going to remember to hit end, and everything's going to be great. Bye, guys. Thank you, ladies.
Bye.